Hello and welcome to Changzhou in southern Jiangsu province. It's a city located on the southern bank of the Yangtze River, east of the provincial capital Nanjing and west of Shanghai. And we're at the Changzhou Olympic Sports Center Xinjiang Gymnasium for semi-finals day at the Victor China Open, the 17th event on the new HSBC BWF World Tour. Well, we've already had 5 of the 10 semi-finals this afternoon, so this evening is the second session. And we're starting with women's doubles, and it's the world champions, MATSUMOTO and NAGAHARA, up against the European champions, the STOEVA sisters from Bulgaria. Then it's women's singles, and the reigning world and Olympic champion, Carolina Marin of Spain, up against the former world champion, Nozomi Okuhara, in a repeat of last week's final in Japan. Then it's an all-Chinese affair in the mixed doubles. It's Zhang Nan and Li Yunwei, the World Championship bronze medalists, up against the World Championship silver medalists, Wang Yilu and Huang Dongping, last year's winners here in Changzhou. Then it's the second of the women's doubles, and the World and Asian Games bronze medalists, Gracia Poli and Apriyani Rahayu of Indonesia, up against the Olympic champions, Matsumoto and Takahashi. Then we finish with men's doubles, and Chen Hongling and Wang Qiling, the World Championship bronze medalists, are up against the European champions, Kim Astrup and Anders Rasmussen. Well, with women's doubles being our first semi-final of the day, a chance for us to look at the draw from quarter-final stage, and we had 4 Japanese pairs. By semi-final, we were down to 2 Japanese pairs. 6 seeds quarter-finals and just 3 seeds at semi-finals, and it's the European champions who are the only unseeded pair. The first European pair in a semi-final here for 11 years. So we're going to start with the top half of the draw. The first of our semi-finals in this evening's session. It is the world champions, Matsumoto and NAGAHARA, up against Gabriela and Stephanie Stoeva of Bulgaria. So as the players make their way onto court, I'm delighted to welcome Steen Pedersen, former head coach of the Danish national team, and this is a fantastic opportunity for the European champions and a surprise semi-final for them.
Played by the Stoeva sisters.
Well, as you can see, the world champions have won their only previous encounter, and that was the first of the Super 1000 events on the new HSBC BWF World Tour, and this, of course, is the third and last of the Super 1000 events. Incidentally, that second round match at the All England Championships between these two pairs lasted just 29 minutes, and of course it was Matsumoto and NAGAHARA that won in Birmingham. So to the European champions, and Gabriela Stoeva, 24 years of age, born in Miskovo, now lives in Paris. They train in Paris, and they have been as high as number 9 on the world ranking, but 4 places down from that. A total of 17 weeks as world number 9s. Making their first appearance here in Changzhou, and Stephanie Stoeva is 22 years of age, but if she gets through to the final, she'll be 23 because it's her birthday tomorrow. What a wonderful way to celebrate her 23rd birthday if she was to win today's semi-final and contest the final tomorrow. Well, in the second round, they beat the number 7 seeds, who retired after just 9 points and 3 minutes played. In the quarterfinal, they had a wonderful result against the number 3 seeds, the former world champions and Asian Games gold medalists this year, Chen Qingcheng and Jia Yifan, coming through in 3 games. And that is possibly, in my opinion, their best result that they've ever had. So to the world champions, and Wakana Nagahara, 22 years of age, currently enjoying their 3rd consecutive week at a career high of 6 on the world ranking. won the world title in Nanjing, not far from here, when they were the number 11 seeds in an all-Japanese final. Matsumoto turned 23 last month, and they're making their third appearance here in Changzhou. Now, as far as the Japanese pair are concerned, well, their first match was won in double quick time against the pair from Taipei, 26 minutes, and only 34 minutes against Kim and Kong from Korea. Quarterfinal was a repeat of the World Championship final. They beat the number 1 seeds Fukushima and Hirota in just shy of the hour mark. Both are court officials here for this one from China. Jiang Xiying is in the umpire's chair. Su Nan, the service judge. Full steam as they get ready to start play. It's a little concerning, perhaps, that the only previous meeting between them only lasted 29 minutes, and it was in favour of the world champions.
Yeah, it is. Both pairs really physically strong, and I have a feeling that Matsumoto and Nagahara might be even stronger when the STOEVA sisters have their strong points. But, let's see what the drift does to this match.
And on my left, MATSUMOTO and Wakana Nagahara, Japan. Gabriela STOEVA to subdue MATSUMOTO. Level play.
So the European champions, Gabriela and Stephanie Stoeva of Bulgaria, getting this women's doubles semi-final underway against the world champions, Matsumoto and Nagahara. Oh, she's a tall athlete, is Mayu Matsumoto. I walked past her when she was in the warm-up area just before the start of the semi-finals. She's down at 176, which is 5'9½", which is my height, and I was convinced she was taller than me. That's a nice change of pace from Nagahara. So the Stoeva sisters, Steen, are a pair that perhaps people aren't so familiar with. Just tell us a little bit about their strengths as a pair.
Yeah, as their preferred positions is Stephanie, who's serving here, who's with the darker hair of the two, working the back court. Used to be a singles player, European junior champion in women's singles. And Gabriela taking care of the front court. Oh, there was an insect on the court there disturbing Matsumoto. They're extremely physically strong and have gotten better and better in the defense. As you mentioned, they're practicing in France with former Bulgarian international Mikhail Popov as their coach. It's not him that's here with them in this tournament. Sometimes practicing with the French national team in Paris at the INSEP.
That's the National Training Centre for all sports, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. It's landed in. Now, you've already mentioned the drift, Steve, and we believe, and we're pretty certain, that the shuttle is flying faster coming towards the Bulgarian pair. So as we all look down on the court during the rallies, the shuttle will be flying faster coming towards us right now.
7-7, 4-3.
Oh, that's a service error. That's gone well wide.
Service over, 4-all.
Well, that little push from Matsumoto was absolutely delightful. This one into the mid-court area. Yeah, good power.
Powerful smash there,
5-all.
and a bit more powerful than her sister. And then perhaps have the better read for the game on the front court.
Which she raises her racket in apology.
First choice position example from Matsumoto and Nagahara. Nagahara taking the role as a playmaker from the back court, where her job is to be really, really solid in her attack, trying to set Matsumoto up for the kill. From the front court, that means using different kind of smashes, sliced smashes, higher smashes towards shoulder height, stick smashes, cross, exploring possibilities with the opponents, and eventually Matsumoto should be able to intercept. But if she's not able to, like we see here, if Nagahara is not able to put enough pressure on, they can play the opposite positions as well, where Matsumoto is perhaps a little bit more powerful, and thus can set up Nagahara at the front court. Can sort of create a bigger chance than Nagahara sometimes is capable of if the opponent has a really good defense.
Yeah, just proving your point.
Yeah, so the smash power from Matsumoto does a little bit more damage to the Bulgarian defense than Nagahara's power at the moment, but that can also change throughout the match as players get a little bit more tired, as you get a better read on who's doing what. Wait. Well played. Well played. Excellent play by the Bulgarians.
The change of pace, did you like that?
Yeah, and
this one.
That's drop shot there. You can see Matsumoto totally out of balance. Of course, it takes a little bit of the attention with the partner.
8-all.
Now, what should I cover? A little bit too much with that defense there, Gabriela Stoeva. I think she could have just blocked it.
There's a nice block there from Mayu Matsumoto. And I have to say, in the World Championship final, Steen, that's what I was really impressed with, was her capability to create something out of defence and turn her defensive play into attacking play.
9-10.
Very creative.
Very much constructed the same way as last week's winners, Fukushima and Hirota. So both players can function fairly well, no matter whether they're on the back court or the front court.
Oh, there's the power again from MATSUMOTO. And the world champions have the advantage, albeit just one solitary point advantage at the mid-game interval.
Ако Рилка, че гледам за диагонал, защото те търсят диагоналите по... Но сега нито един път май не съм забили в средата. Не писа се. Тук ги изпуснем на някои точки, които...
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
Well, I'm not altogether convinced that the coach had anything to say there. Just...
I don't think so.
No.
I think Gabriela and Stephanie spoke Bulgarian between each other and French with the coach. And I mean, there's not so much to talk about. Things are going well.
Yeah. Oh, that's a super return of serve from Gabriela. Oh, she anticipated well, Nagahara. Going forward at the right time. Knew where it was coming, but then made the error. All right idea, wrong execution.
One of the strategies from the STOEVA sisters, I believe, would be to move MATSUMOTO when she's on the back court, so you can't stand still and hit smashes. That's a dangerous situation. Became too short.
Yeah, well worked by the world champions.
13-12.
I think they need to move her before she hits her first smash. Otherwise, she's too powerful.
Service over. 13-all.
Oh, string's gone.
Yeah.
She knew it immediately, Gabriela Stoeva.
13.
And we see how she tries to direct it back to her. So Matsumoto, she heard it as well.
Yeah. Winning gold medal at the World Championships, Matsumoto and Nagahara, perhaps one of the most unexpected results in World Championship history. They won their gold medal when they haven't even made the Uber Cup squad. They had 3 pairs, women's doubles pairs, at the Uber Cup finals in Bangkok. They hadn't even won a Grand Prix gold title, let alone a World Tour title or Super Series title.
actually, I think with both pairs here, but especially with the Japanese women's doubles, that they don't change partners. They play in their partnerships for a long, long time and develop as players. And I think that's really underestimated. There's a lot of countries where it seems like, okay, if we mix things up, then everything will be better. But it's really about getting better as a player. And commit to develop as a pair. And that's the same that the STOEVA sisters have done. Of course, they're really committed to this combination. But they're not a part of a national training setup on an everyday basis. And that's interesting, because I feel that that's the way things are going, that you need more focus from your coaches, you need more focus in practice. It's a little bit easier for the women because it's easier to get sparring partners for them, as there's a lot of male players that would be adequate sparring partners.
Several times she's used the little block to great effect, Gabriela. Nice. Brilliant work from MATSUMOTO. They received one smash in that rally, the Japanese pair, and MATSUMOTO just blocked it back to the net, and so they immediately had the lift again and were able to attack themselves. 2 points away from this opening game. 1 point away from this opening game.
You can see in the beginning of this game, they had trouble setting MATSUMOTO up, but now they've worked it out. Now it goes a lot easier.
Oh, it's landed in. That's a misjudgment. She was in position. She could have played that. And a wry smile from Nagahara.
Good shot.
What an angle. That's a fabulous shot from MATSUMOTO to close out the opening game. 21-16 in 16 minutes. This final angle from MATSUMOTO, absolutely superb. 16.
だけど自分がサービスで次の子自分が頑張ってってお願いじゃないお願い真ん中の子10回行くでしょお願いの気持ちはダメだよしかし相手が入られたらポジション少し気持ち少しここじゃダメさっきはこっち前にっていうみんな強く打っても大丈夫あれから後ろからもっと思い切ってまだ朝練習すぐ思い切るまだ同じことやる大丈夫もっと思い切って振らないとダメ止まないねってのは強くでね後ろアウトないだから相手がカップっていうかちょっとカットも入れて全部済ましただけじゃないだからでネット前出し行ってプッシュができなかったから出し行ってヘッドだけだよこれ継続できるああちょっとこうやってやらすぐ上げそっちゃダメだよ打たれるよねもっともっと前で勝負するね忘れないね上げて
Well, from Kai Nakajima and Park Jubong's gestures there, Steen, I suggest that they've been told, don't worry if you have to lift and move your opponents at the back of the court because the shuttle will stay in. There seem to be lots of...
Give it a little bit extra power, the defensive shots, so that you don't play too short. Yeah, there was lots of discussion going on there. I was amazed sometimes the players can keep track of all that. These two coaches talking at the same time.
Yeah. Just wide. I think it's very important that the European champions get a good start to this. They can't afford to go too far behind, because if you look at the body language of Stephanie after that rally, the disappointment, they could get down on themselves, get a little bit dispirited.
It's like the World Championship that Matsumoto has totally stamped her mark on this match, and I think that Gabriela and Stephanie Stoeva, they need to direct the majority of the shots to Nagahara. Not that she's not really good, but Matsumoto has just been the X factor, so to speak, in this match here, and we've seen that a number of times before.
That was the defense again.
Yeah.
And there.
It's really interesting, the defense of Matsumoto. She's standing a lot with one leg in front of the other. It can change from time to time which one it is, but very aggressive defensive stance. Well played.
What a rally. What a final shot from Nagahara. Look at that. What an angle. Yeah. That's her second service error, but a third in total for the Japanese pair. It's landed on the line. Good shot. Oh, springs went in the racket on that one. Thundered into the tape, stayed their side. Oh, yes. Well, Stephanie giving her opponent some of their own medicine on the drive defence. That's a super shot.
Goes down in the coach's notebook. Drop shot to Matsumoto before you hit at her. Not necessarily the same success as we saw here from a Bulgarian perspective, but definitely get her to move.
Well, we know that one of these pairs will make history today, Steen, because there's never been a European pair in the final of the event staged here in Changzhou in the women's doubles discipline. That's just wide. And there's never been a pair from Japan in the women's doubles, which I was quite surprised about. 3 previous semi-finalists prior to this year, but never a pair from Japan in the final.
It's a little bit surprising.
Oh,
Well played.
oh.
Missed the last one.
Yeah, that's a pity from Gabriella's perspective.
But some possibilities if they have to lift, then lift to the backhand side when Nagahara is on the backcourt, because then they can sort of play the flat, straight defense there. It's difficult for Matsumoto to intercept. The problem is what happens when Nagahara gets alert to this and start hitting to the inner side of the body of the player that's standing straight across or straight in front of her. You can, as a player, you can place your smashes, so it's more likely that it will be a cross return.
Well worked. And very well finished off from Gabriella. Stephanie setting her sister up at the net there.
Again, Matsumoto wanted to help at the net, and here it comes. She reaches that one, then she gets vulnerable in the defense afterwards.
Well wide, and it's a 3-point advantage for the world champions at the nickname interval here in the second game. The deputy referee has come on to court here. Julie Carroll from New Zealand, the deputy referee. There she is in the red shirt. Oh, I'm not sure what that was about. Do you know, Steen?
She's talking to the Japanese coaches. I think maybe they have been coaching inside the rallies.
11-8, play.
Allowed to shout in between rallies, but not during rallies. Oh, strings have gone. Oh, won the rally, would you believe it? All she had to do was hit it in the direction of Mayu Matsumoto. Made just too many errors at the front of the court today.
Yes.
Gabriela.
And also very nice movement by Nagahara, who moves forward to the net and sort of puts some psychological pressure, mental pressure on Gabriela. She knows she has to play it with accuracy, otherwise it's going to be dangerous.
Oh, that's a third service error from her, second on a flick out wide. Fourth in total for the Japanese pair.
I like that little hand instruction from Kei Nakajima on how to do it. Good shot.
That's super.
So, I think there's a lot of power to the idea that you're playing in this combination. This is your partner. There's no new partner. If you're not doing well, then fix it, because you're playing in this combination. But as a coach, it's really fun thinking about what could be done. What if the Chinese or Indonesians or the Koreans, they come up with a really good pair? Could you make a Japanese super pair from all their good women's doubles players?
They're struggling to control the defensive shots. The STOEVA sisters. So, sorry, just going back on what you said just now, are you thinking along the sort of Ryder Cup terms
Yes.
of, that they have in golf, where it's the Americans against the Europeans?
Coming up next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, nice smash there. Yeah, but what if someone comes up with, what if it shows that Jia Yifan and Chen Qingchen, they're winning the World Championship next year in Switzerland, and they're winning the Super Series finals, and seems to dominate next year. What do you do? Do you accept that playing in these partnerships towards the Olympics, so we sort of walk the line, or do you try to create a super pair?
Yeah.
Might just be a theoretical.
Yeah,
It
of
might
course.
not be possible in reality in terms of commitments to companies and where people live and stuff like that. But it's interesting. There's a lot of combinations to consider.
Yeah. 2 points away from a place in the final. The world champions now with 9 match point opportunities.
And 2 minutes behind schedule compared to All England.
What a good rally. Yeah. Well saved.
But ever since the first coaching, the first quarter of the match there, where there wasn't really much coaching on the Bulgarian side, it's been pretty much one-way traffic.
And now it's all over. 21-16, 21-12 in 32 minutes. And the world champions, Mayu Matsumoto, and Wakana Nagahara
Match won
have
by
become the first
Mayu Matsumoto.
pair from
Wakana
Japan ever to
Nagahara.
reach the final of the event here in
21-12.
Changzhou. I agree with you, Steve. It was ever since the mid-game interval of the first game. It only looked like one pair was going to win, and it was the world champions. So victory for Matsumoto and Nagahara, world champions over the European champions, Gabriela and Stephanie Stoeva.